What's going on, Jerome's? So we try not to be a just blame the refs type of guy, right? We do when it's blatantly obvious, right? But you have to play better than the refs ref, and the Vikings did not do that tonight. But how does the league just allow this? In a standalone game in prime time, everyone's watching. Like, you should see the timeline on the old Twitter machine. Everyone is blaming the refs for the Vikings losing, not the Vikings playing and coaching like ass. But honestly, this game was infinitely more frustrating than the Lions game. Where Lions game, you went toe-to-toe with allegedly the best team in the National Football League. You sort of dug yourself a hole second quarter. You came back. You came up short. It is what it is. We'll see him in the playoffs. But this one is just a no-call, no-show. And speaking of no-call, like the officiating one was just so after the game. So people are like, well, refs should have to face the media. They do to a degree. So they have a pool reporter. So one reporter interviews the refs after the game, after some controversial calls. And the head ref said that no referee had a clear view of the face mask. That's the head referee himself. Also, this is the guy who officiated the comeback against the Colts. The guy who blew the Sean Don Sullivan to scoop and scores dead. Not saying, I'm just saying. All right. And not to go all conspiracy theory here, man, but especially since the NFL has completely gone all in with sports gambling. Well, all sports leagues. But the fact that 80+% of all the money was on the Vikings minus 2.5 and the Vikings money line. And then just magically the Vikings give the Rams 5 first downs via penalty, including a bunch of them on high leverage third downs. And also the game ends with a non-call. It's rough. Yeah. Anyways, trying to see the forest through the trees. The Vikings did not play well, but we got winners and losers from the game. Not many, and I refuse to list any defensive players because they don't deserve it. All right. So winners, Justin friggin' Jefferson. Now he's top 5 in franchise history in receiving, which is great. 8 catches for $115 on 9 targets. And initially, after he's getting all that work, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be the 200-yard game, but not so much. Aaron Jones. So Jones had a weird game. Like, he had 19 carries for 58 yards, 2 catches for 37. The catch was great, but he only had 3.1 yards per carry. It didn't seem like that. You know what I mean? Especially early. All right. Slinging Sam Darnold. So everyone blames Darnold for everything. Darnold has actually been good over the last 2 games. Yeah, the Brian Branch stupid interception aside. But Darnold in basically a homecoming game, 72% completion percentage, 240, 2 touchdowns, 128.8 quarterback rating, 9.3 yards per attempt. Like all that is good. 9.6 yards per attempt. Sorry. Josh Oliver had some great blocks, also a touchdown on the first drive. Also had a nice catch and run in the second half. Started to get things going for the Vikes. Also Trent Sherfield doing all the dirty work, run blocking. Glad that he got himself a touchdown. Also was good on punt coverage. And speaking of punt coverage, like Ryan Wright, it's amazing how since Sherfield has come in for Caleb Evans that the punt coverage has gotten infinitely better, right? And Wright, he brought the boom. 50.3 yards per punt, which is great. Also, Vikings fans filling up SoFi. There's a lot of purple out there. Losers. So there's so much frustration. And it really does stem from the defense and Flores and company. What's happened to this defense? What has happened to the game that I love? Basically, second half of the Packers game, the defense has not been great, right? And especially the Lions game, 4 straight touchdown drives in the middle of that game. This one, Stafford had all day long, and they couldn't get anything going. Pass rush wise, 0 goose 80 D'Angelo Russell sacks on Stafford. Stafford threw for 4 touchdowns because he had all damn day, 3 pressures on 34 dropbacks. And what's amazing is that they only have 2 starting offensive linemen. Right? Their center, left guard, and left tackle, all backups. All right, and they were bottom 3 in the league in terms of pressures allowed, in terms of defense, pass blocking DVOA, in terms of EPA. But Vikings just got stonewalled for the second week in a row. Now, against the Lions, you understand. Like, the Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the game, but the Rams was just inert. The Vikings couldn't get anything going. Run defense-wise as well. Kyron Williams ripped off a $107 and just like chunk plays over and over. Picked up that 4th down as well. Penalties all over the place. 9 penalties for 50 after they had 8 penalties against the Lions. And this has just been a sloppy-ass team since the bye, right? And that comes down to the players executing, but also the coaches. I mean, what you tolerate is the standard, and the Vikings have been tolerating a lot of it. Plus, the nature of the penalties. A lot of it pre-snap, illegal formation, illegal shifts, mental errors. Turner on the field for 12 men, which unacceptable. It's ridiculous, man. Also, Ivan Pace Jr. Take out the scoop and score against the Lions, which is hard to do, yes, but Pace has not played well last 2 games. He led the team in tackles at 13, but had a fistful of missed tackles. Coverage-wise, he allowed the touchdown to Kyron Williams. Blitzing-wise, he's not getting home, even though Flores keeps sending him over and over. And that, if you're not getting home when blitzing, like that puts a lot of pressure on the back end of that defense. And Blake Brandel, false start, also bad reps on stunts. And what sucks is that Brandel and Darrisaw have been so good at it throughout the season. Prayers up for Darrisaw. Hopefully that knee is nothing major. But Brandel did not have a good game. Frankly, watching the game in real time on the TV broadcast, frankly, I think that Ed Ingram and Garrett Bradbury had good games. And I think that Blake Brandel was the worst guard on Thursday night. Griffin and Gilmore, also you can toss Murph in there as well. But Griff, touchdown to Demarcus Robinson. Gilly, just giving up receptions, as well as that 3rd down to Cooper Kupp. Puka Nacua. Hey, it's weird because Puka was basically dead on the injury report. And then all of a sudden he, rose like a phoenix, right? And I will say this. So, Griff, Gilmore, and Murph are getting a lot of flack from fans, rightfully so. But if you don't have a pass rush, that makes it nearly impossible to play corner. Like, you could have 3 prime Revises back there, and if your team isn't getting a pass rush, they're going to get exposed. It's just the truth, especially with a quarterback like Stafford. And Kevin O'Connell not feeding his studs. So, great first 2 drives. Just like every single game this year, Vikings get out to this fast start, but then all of a sudden, like the wheels just fall off. Right? And it goes back to penalties too. The 3rd drive, just like the Lions game, 3rd drive stalls out because of penalties after you score the first 2, and the offense just doesn't recover. And it's almost like Kevin O'Connell, once he gets off the scripted plays, it's just he can't adjust mid-game. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously the defenses want to try to make you play left-handed, and they took away Jefferson, but don't care. And also, if they're doubling, tripling Jefferson, where's Addison? Where's Speedy Naylor? Naylor had that 3rd down drop, which he would have walked in for a touchdown. But also, Darnold could have easily ran for that 1st down as well. And just the whole settling for 3. I love Will Reichard. I don't want to see him except for PATs, right? And then, the refs. 5 first downs via penalty, and also that face mask who no one was in position to see. I mean, who among us, right? But you do have to play better than the refs, and frankly, the Vikings should have been in that spot to begin with, where they had to march the entire field to get a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion, but it just sort of is what it is, right? And also, Alan Kirk just creaming over Puka Nacua every single time. Puka Nacua breathes. Oh, my God, what a warrior. It's ridiculous, man. But it's rough, and what sucks the most about it is like the Lions game, like, all right, you went toe-to-toe against one of the best teams in the league. We'll see these jabronis again, and the Vikings, they just ran out of time. This one was a legitimate no-call, no-show by the defense, and offensively, after the first 2 drives, they did nothing, right? And it was a sloppy-ass team, and bad penalties, bad performance all the way around. You can blame the refs, but this team was ass. Thank you. And what sucks is that they knew that they needed to rebound after the Lions game, right? And I don't want to hear the blah, 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 Lions beat teams up. This wasn't a thing of getting beat up. This is just lack of execution and just lack of bringing it, right? And now, guess what? You're 5-2. And all of the whispers, all the rumors of 2016, of 2003, oh, the Vikings are frauds. I'm not ready to say the Vikings are frauds, but they're acting like it. Because great teams don't lose 2 in a row. And great teams rebound from a game like the Lions, and they get pissed off. But this defense sleptwalked through this game. 0 excuses, and they didn't get done. It's on Flores too, and it sucks. But no time to cry on the breast milk. 5-2. What it do? Best 5-2 team in NFL history. Nailed it. And now you got 10 days. Hey, you got 10 days to stew and get pissed off about things. Oh, by the way, it felt like maybe some players looking forward to the mini bye. Like, if I see Vikings smiling on the sidelines of their alma maters on Saturday, I'm just going to be just a little pissed off. But now you got 10 days. You got to fix a lot of things. Hey, Cashman, that toe needs to be good. Hawkinson, that knee needs to be good. Reisner, that back needs to be good to go, right? We need all hands on frickin' deck, right? Because if you lose the Colts at home, that could be a wrap. Even though 5-3, and you got a 3-game road stretch. There's no easy games in the National Football League. There isn't. Like, you could say that the Jaguars, Colts, Titans, Bears, oh my, whatever. No. There's no easy games, as evidenced by the Rams game. They're bottom 3 defensively in all categories. Vikings couldn't do anything. The Rams' offensive line is piss poor. They couldn't do anything. It's just frustrating. And now we got 10 long days to think about it. So just fantastic. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings-Rams, winners, losers. Let us know. Comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull, production value.